Oh, I know what I'm going to do during the theme song. Yep. I'm going to get a beer.
Got a tinkle?
No, I'm going to get a beer. I'm
Very
parched. Good. I'm dry. We don't have a bartender anymore.
I'll get you a beer.
No, you're busy, Kevin.
All right. I can get you a beer or a pistol.
Oh, this is something.
This is not a guest move.
This is not a guest move. Hey, Ryan, can you...
What do you want, Rolling Rock or Bud Light?
It don't matter to me.
Kevin, would you like anything?
Sure.
Rolling Rock or Bud Light?
Whatever you grab.
Hey, can you get me that yellow cup that's right there beside you too? So I don't, because those two brand name beers don't give the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke any money. So I'm not going to give them. Thank you. This is how the show should be, is where the guest is like getting up and getting stuff.
Very honored to be on live from the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke.
You know, RyanVandenBussche, who's our spoiler alert before the opening, he's our guest today.
Huh?
And he is in Dutch Hall history. I don't know if you know this, Ryan. You are in 3 of the top 10 Dutch Hall episodes of all time.
He's in my favorite.
3 of the top 10 rated. And I think in the top
3 times.
And in the top 20, I bet you're on there like 5 or 6 times. Like almost every episode that you're on does really well, is what I'm saying. Except for the ayahuasca one.
Really?
Yeah.
People are
no band.
Don't want to hear that shit, eh? Maybe.
First, no. It was because it wasn't because of you. It was because of me that time. It's because what I was doing with the show wasn't as good. Remember at first we were just at that little table. You were on like the 3rd episode we ever did, and it was just like a little table in here.
In Turkey Point or here?
It was in here. It was just me and you, and in the shed, and we didn't even. There was still my lawnmower in here and a bunch of other crap, and we just I had a little table and we just did it, and that one I actually have a video somewhere if I could dig it out, but oh my god. That was different technology. I didn't have, it was like some fucking Australian camera that I bought.
God.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if it even worked.
Funny to hear it again, but
yeah. But that one did well. That one did really well. It was always that was the number 1 thing for a long time until Fred Eaglesmith kicked your ass.
Freddie? Oh, why wouldn't he? Of course he would.
And then
legend.
Yeah. Fred Eaglesmith went right to the top. And then Porno and Fisting Your German. Well, you can't compete with that one.
Just the title.
Yeah. That's an eye catcher.
And then number 3 is Quit Your Job, Return to the Rooster. That was where, so a lot of people are curious about that one. That was number 3. And then I believe RyanVandenBussche, round 2 with RyanVandenBussche is on that chart. But honestly, on the top 10, you also have birthday show, Pete's birthday Wheel of Fun. You were on that one. You weren't the star, but in my eyes, you were the star of that episode.
Oh, you make me feel so good, Pete.
Oh, you told the greatest story that I ever heard, and then also the fact that it made my sister Lisa so angry that you told it. It was like where she's giving me shit because you told a story on my show. I'm like, what the hell are you giving me shit for? He told it.
I don't want to ask what story that was.
Oh, it was hilarious, dude. It was the best. It was your, can I tell you?
Sometimes I just talk too much.
I know, that's what's great. Why would you care though? It's like,
I don't.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. It's a great story. Like sometimes I have stories and I'm like, I would love to tell this story, but my wife's going to be so mad. And I'm like, I think it's so funny. Is there like a statute of limitations where your wife can't get mad at you anymore and you can just tell all the great stories?
It's not just about your wife though. Like Kevin was talking about earlier. It's about, is your job.
Yeah.
Corporate.
And I guess
really, but it's real. People want to hear real shit and they want to hear the truth. So there's nothing wrong with speaking the truth.
Yep.
Is that like, I have to ask, like, because you achieved like a level of fame of some sort, like at least in a small town environment, playing in the NHL, you like have some notoriety locally, right? So do you feel with that comes a responsibility then that you kind of have to always be kind of like
a robot?
Press ready or whatever? Like keep yourself kind of clean, or is it just the way you were raised as a good human? You kind of always want to like not.
The way you're raised as a good human, yes, and then once you get to that level, like like guys like Sidney Crosby, the real talented, and, bigger guys, they're being coached how to deal with the media at a very early age.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16 years of age. And then basically it's just a narrative that you kind of stick with, and you don't want to say anything stupid because you don't ever want to distract what the real purpose is of what your mission is, and that's to win hockey games. So
but
they'll get rid of you. So it could be a distraction by saying a stupid thing in the media, like, oh, the coach is a fucking idiot.
Right.
He can look at you right in the eyes and lie to your face.
Right.
You don't want to say that kind of shit.
So, but like, is that what they coach you?
No, they just say be careful with your words, and they kind of give you a bit of a narrative of if we lost.
And you also don't want to give the other team ammunition.
That's right. Yeah, it's just. But I understand. There's some things that shit. Here I am. I have a federal license to sell cannabis, hemp. License to
guns.
To work with. I have a license. Yes.
To sell guns.
No, I don't have a license. That's Dykes. He has.
Oh yeah. Can you sell PCP?
Like, you think. Well, I got to watch
angel
what I
dust?
say, but at the same time, you just want to be honest. No angel dust, Pete.
No, wait, I wanted to say like, but here's a good example though. Like in the hemp and stuff, that was always when it was gray or when we were fighting for it to be legal. Like then it was kind of like still there was a stigma, but now I think that's kind of gone. Like now it's just a legitimate like business
it's commodity. Yeah,
commodity. Like it's just like. No one looks at it as being anything but that now, which is great. But like, you do understand that if you're going to say like, tell a story on air about like, how you blew your load in a condom and then just like squeezed the condom and shoved it into the girl's pussy, right? If you think you're going to lose business over it
while you're putting your condom on,
if you're going to lose business over a story like that, then is that good? I would say. Where was my first point? The first point was with weed, you'd think that people would be more tolerant to that story because they were open-minded to try weed in the first place, right? But in real estate, for example, right, you would assume you're dealing with like some really conservative people and all that stuff. All of a sudden it gets out that you're like, just blowing loads of condoms and squeezing them and shoving them into girls' pussies. Like this is going to affect business. But I'm saying here, my point I'm trying to make
what are you trying to say, Pete?
Is that you may want to lose those people, like who wants to do business with people who can't take a joke, who like you can't just be honest with and just say, I am kind of a piece of shit who says fucked up things from time to time, but I'm mostly just doing it to get a laugh, like I'm harmless and really a pussycat.
I am really just trailer trash.
Yeah.
I work hard. I work real hard.
Yeah. My wife is so much classier than me. Like it's,
ditto.
It's like ridiculous. Like I would literally live covering my daughter is a hamster that lives in a cage, and every day it shits in its bedding, and then every night it covers itself with all the bedding. Right?
That shits in his bedding.
No, a hamster.
Oh, the hamster shits in his bedding.
It's got like shavings on the ground or whatever. That's what it shits in. But it also likes to cover itself with everything, like to block out the light, and including its own shit. What was my point on this one?
Are you the hamster?
I'm the hamster, yeah. Okay. I'm the hamster in this analogy, yeah. But I can't remember what the start of the thing was.
It's all good.
God damn it.
It's weed. Let's smoke another one.
How'd it go?
Huh?
That's how it goes.
Yeah, we should have ended at grip, like blowing your load in condoms and like gripping it. But anyways, we missed our opportunity there, Kev.
What are you gonna do?
We got as close as we could. We can have to just play the theme song now. That's a good opener. Thank you very much, everybody. And for going so quiet so quickly, I am the host of this show. We're the Dutch Hall. We're coming to you live from the pool shed. We're on Facebook and on YouTube. And I got to tell you, we got a great guest back in the hall. He said one of the All-Stars, one of the most popular guests we've ever had on. And but before we introduce him, let's introduce the guy who presses all the buttons here. He's doing real good. His training's coming really good. He's an actual trained engineer of dobotics. Is that true?
Yeah.
And yet he had nothing to do with Robot Dave at all.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Donger Van Dungeon. Rebrand, Kev? Rebrand.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Beaver made it happen. I'm not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to move that oak tree of Beaver
Because I'm a dick.
Beaver is still babying his baby cigarettes, but he promises he will be in next week. And we have to tell the audience that now because Beaver is so popular with our audience. You know, Derek Van Houten.
I like beef. Yeah.
Yeah, Beef's a beauty. And I wrote a notepad today. And I said, it said on it, highlights for the show. And I put Beaver, right? And then beside it, I put in quotes, I never pull out, right?
Yeah.
I got to have that clip in there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I pee in showers,
That was a good one.
right? Pete, I pee in shower. Yeah. I pee in showers. He has insisted about it. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And then the way he's so confident about every decision he makes, it makes me so happy to have him on the show. Even when he's totally wrong, he's still so confident about it. It makes me so happy to have that sort of. I love it. Nice. I love it. Hey, do you ever see it? Because I'm not confident. I'm not as confident. Anyways, introductions here.
I think you're confident, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of me is, but half of me is and half of me isn't. The half of me is like almost like too confident, and then the other half of me thinks I'm garbage. So
which wolf are you going to feed?
I don't know. The other one's crazy too.
One.
They're both crazy. You have to get somewhere in the middle of those two crazy bastards.
Yeah, just separate.
Oh, this is nice therapy with our guest, NHL alum, entrepreneur, and you know what? I just like saying all around good guy.
Yeah, man.
Because this guy's been part of my family for a while, and you think after a while when a guy's part of your family, you're going to get sick of him over the years, but turns out exactly the opposite.
Nice.
I actually like this guy more and more as we age together. Ladies and gentlemen, RyanVandenBussche, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. It's only been 23 years.
Yeah, it is forever. And I'm the host of this show and two-time President's Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke.
They love you.
They do. So
There's some hecklers in that crowd, though.
yeah, we need one or two hecklers.
Get a new hat.
You know, one person we don't ever introduce anymore is Robot Dave over there. Robot Dave has been giving me the silent treatment for about a month, maybe 2 months now, and I don't even give a fuck, I don't really care. He said nothing that made sense to me for like weeks and weeks and weeks. Why should now be any different that he's going to start like making any sense? So I don't even like to.
What's your problem, man?
I don't even like to dignify Robot Dave with an introduction anymore.
Well, you got him sitting in the corner all the time.
How do you stop it? That's the thing. I can't. Robot Dave's laugh when he gets going. He's like ticklish or something. Anyways, fuck you, Robot Dave. I'll tell you that. I wanted the real Dave Chars in here. I want the real Nocturnal Emissions in here. And I'll tell you, last week we had Wes. You know Whiskey Wes Haggins? We had Whiskey Wes on the show. Hey, you thought I'm Superman. Hey? Oh, shit. You can't see my face with my hat on, so I'm going to take it off. Anyways, Whiskey West was in here, and I was bugging about none of the nocturnal emissions coming to my 400th show, and the sadness in his eyes. of caring and like real empathy for me, you know? I was like, oh, that's not my intention, you know, Wes. I know you would do it. You'd be here if you could, you know, like Wes is my favorite. He'd do anything for me, you know, like I would never question that, his loyalty and all that. I felt bad for even bringing it up.
So there's a bit of a cry fest.
Yeah, but Steve, the reluctant German, I didn't accept his excuse, right? So the blame is still solidly on him until he comes in here and shows me his puppy dog eyes and makes me change my opinion. So I said, one of the things this show is lacking by not having Steve the reluctant German is that we don't make fun of Germans anymore on the show. We used to make fun of Germans like every week, you know, because we always had Steve. We're like, throw it to the German, you know, it's easy. You can make fun of a German, right? So you're not German.
You got a Belgium now.
Yeah, you're Belgian, but you are some Dutch.
Yeah.
Right? Some Dutch.
Quarter Dutch.
Quarter and then 3/4 Belgian.
Yeah.
But Belgium and Dutch, especially the part of Holland that we're from, the part that drinks and the part that's cool, which is Brabant. Huh?
Brabant.
Well, there's a Brabant in Belgium too, and that's where your family's from.
Be honest with you, I don't know what the town that they're.
Well, I don't know what town, but I know what province, and it's going to be South Brabant.
Okay.
I bet you dimes to donuts, you're just right across the fence. And that's like saying Norfolk County versus Brant County, you know? Yeah, they're not like us, but they've seen a tobacco field before. You know, they know they're
right.
Pretty close, you know?
They pass through to go to the lake.
That's right.
Yeah, but they're a little different. Anyways, so I'm not going to be trashing the Belgians on this show because I have too many of them in my family at this point in time.
That's right.
And then, but the Germans, we managed to stay away from the Germans, in our family for the most part. And, but we don't have German jokes on this show. And because we're live from the Dutch Hall, and there's always been, you know, a little bit of rivalry, if you will, because Germany they actually did invade Holland and take us over. So the fucking Canadians had to come in and fix. Did they take over Belgium?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. Like this, it was two generations, not even 2 generations ago. There was a guy in charge, or like mass murdering 6 million people.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about the Germans. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah. Right at the bottom, Robot Dave had something to say about that too. I remember.
I wonder what Hitler would think of Oprah running for president.
Right?
Yeah. Right. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about? I get too baked on whatever you made me smoke at the beginning of the show. I've been kind of discombobulated since the beginning. I didn't even know what I was even starting to talk about. I don't usually get this baked, to be honest with you.
There's nothing wrong with that, Pete.
No.
Just stay focused. Congratulations on selling your church, by the way, too.
Oh, thank you. I get a lot of congratulations, and I'll be completely honest. I want to thank everybody who did congratulate me for the sale. And you know, like when I sold my first house, I remember we had to carry it for so long, and it took forever to sell. And it was like, I had 2 mortgages, you know, and it was like a lot of stress, you know. It was like, I think 5 months of that, you know, waiting for someone to pay like what would now be a measly amount for that house. And nobody congratulated me really, except for, you know, close family and stuff at that time. But like when this thing happened, I get lots of congratulations, and I should be happy. Like I was thrilled when that one sold. I was really, really happy because it was like, oh, this one, it was like, I am not happy. And I should be. Yeah. Like I should be. But it's just confusing me. I don't know. Like it's kind of fucking with my brain a bit. I think kind of because like I had goals there, and by selling it, I know that's definitely done. The page is turned on that chapter. I can't go back and give it another try. But the other thing is just like, I'm kind of like cashing in on a plan,
right?
And then so that plan's done, and then what's the next plan?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
One door closes, another one's going to open for you, and you'll be primed and ready to go. You capitalize on the real estate at least. And COVID didn't help either with, like, you had a great vision going on there. I totally saw what you were doing.
Yeah.
It's just, but you know, something will happen. It'll work out one way or the other.
Well, no, and it did. I think all in all, we were blessed, and you know, maybe just missed the peak of a bit because I do think it's cooling off. I do kind of think that when rates are going up for sure, and stands to reason that some of these excess home or like some of the homes that are being used for not living. Mm-hmm. will be sold because mortgages become too expensive, and then there'll be more homes on the market, and prices should come down and become a buyer's market again.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen this year. Like, it's kind of working its way towards that.
Going that direction right now.
You can't probably say that selling real estate, right? Is that bad for business?
No. It's just real. I mean, it's interest rates going up. There's more coming on the market. There's more building permits being issued. There's going to be a lot more houses going up. Yeah,
You just got to be like, like you got to counsel your clients probably about like how to know what like what's going to go on. What, like if it is going down, you got to manage their expectations of what they're going to be able to sell for, right?
Absolutely.
It's probably harder in a declining market, right?
You just got to do your research and just tell them what the market's telling you, and you just relay that information, and they're the boss in the end. They can buy it for whatever they want. They can sell it for whatever they want. It's up to us if we want to list it. If it's something ridiculously out of this, not realistic, you usually, you wouldn't take it typically, but you never know. This market's been crazy lately. So you take any listings you can get, because listings are hard to find.
Really?
There's not
because there's not a lot of houses, right?
It's all about supply and demand, right? So.
Oh yeah. Well, that was great.
And don't forget too, the amount of immigrants that are coming into Canada.
Yeah.
500,000 a year. I think 1/5 of those are coming into the GTA area.
Yeah.
That's a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're building all that housing, but it's people getting cheap money from the banks, and they're buying their equity, borrowing against equity. So like prices are going up on the eight Airbnbs they already own, and so like they now, it's worth twice as much. Well, I'll borrow against it for a down payment on another one, and then they keep doing that trick. And then eventually the trick wears out, and they have to liquidate, or the bank makes them liquidate because they feel they're undersecured. Because if all of a sudden, you buy something worth $500,000, and then, interest rates go up and the market cools, and now that same thing would only sell for 400, and the bank lent you 450 on that 500. They're undersecured. They don't say like, you're still making your payment, like keep going. They just say like, hey, we're undersecured, we're at risk. We just want to call the loan, we're going to sell it. Like, we want you to sell it. So then you have to go to like a high risk mortgage to keep your place. And now you're into even higher interest and shit. Like, that's the sort of fucking stuff that happens in times like this. It's gonna, like, I'm looking at a crystal ball because I'm almost 50 and I've lived through this shit enough times. And I'm just like, this is what happens. And then this happened. Because I've seen it like fucking.
It's like a porno.
It just keeps happening over and over again, right? So like, it's just time. It has been a while since this happened, but it's going to happen again, right? And hopefully it'll be good for our kids.
Yeah,
shitty for us.
We hope so. But right now, who can afford to buy a house?
Yeah, it should correct by like you like real estate should go up like so much each year, But then if it all of a sudden goes up by way more, then it's going to correct eventually, probably to where it should be. And because everyone will be panicked when it's correcting where it should be, it'll go lower than where it should be for a while. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be deals, and then it'll go back up to where it should be. Yeah. And it always, if you look over the long term, because you're going to buy something like real estate, you're going to own it over like a long period of time. So if you just don't look at it all the time and you just live in it, and you're going to end up doing okay over time, But if you're buying extra properties to make money on, then you're going to be at the mercy of the market. Like, you got to play the market, you got to pay attention, and then try to buy when it's low and sell when it's high, which which I think I fucking nailed.
Yeah. That one.
Anyways, yeah, there's a couple. I like doing that though. Cherry picking the listings where you say like, that's a good buy. Like that's a good deal. That's the Dutch in me. Like it's like I figure I can do pretty much fuck all with that one and make some money. You know,
Had some fun in there.
yeah, have some fun in there. Yeah.
Move on.
Because people are saying, well, what do you want to do? And I didn't charge any rent to the businesses that were there because I didn't want to say I was making money on it until you can make money on it, right? And then I'm so glad I did that because you don't have to pay tax.
Right. Good.
So,
Move.
yeah, because I was like, if I can't make money, I can at least not pay tax, you know, when I sell the thing. So it was, I didn't want to like bite my nose off to spite my face or whatever.
Yeah.
This is great, eh? Ryan's like played with Gretzky and Lemieux and Messier, Crosby, and we're talking about fucking Pete's real estate deals.
I like it.
It's boring.
It's present.
Yeah. Hey, the one thing that me and my kids were talking about is that how like hard it is to be like a professional athlete. You got to be like, you got to pretty much dedicate your life to it at such a young age now. Like you got to decide because like by the time you're good enough, like you already got to be like pretty fucking into it, right? And then by the time you're like still really young, you're done. It's very much like being a hot chick, right? Like if you're like getting paid to be the model,
Right. At a very young age.
you're like hot when you're young. And then you get to like your mid 30s or whatever. And then you're like, you know, you're okay, but you're just not,
You're not there.
at the big leagues anymore. And every once in a while you see someone at 40 where you're like, you're still killing it, you know?
That's why you have to re-identify yourself, right? You know, as a kid, you just got to love what you do. And
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that I could play hockey and get paid to do it. I just happened to love it and happened to make a little bit of money at it. So I was a kid for a while. I had one monomaniacal focus, and that was to play hockey. And that was it. And unfortunately, it's good for that way, but you know, you miss a lot of other, I'm not handy. I can't do anything else but that when I first retired. Like I retired when I was 34 years old.
Right.
Hockey is all I knew.
Yeah.
So you really have to learn
you almost have to be a little autistic to be successful. Like you almost have to be a little like we're strangely focused, like where other people doing things that other people won't do.
Yeah.
Like in order to get to that next level. I feel that way with comedy. Not that I've achieved any level of anything, to be quite honest.
Man.
I do it, and that's the main thing. I do it, right?
That's impressive.
And what was my point though? Before I qualified it with some bullshit.
Hyper focused.
Yeah, you got to do things that are a little weird, like that gig for Sudbury that I did. Like some of the gigs I do don't make sense. I'm gonna lose money on them. I know I'm gonna lose money on them, but I got to do it because if I don't do it, then how are they gonna know who I am? You know, like
Getting your name out there, and it's like a practice for you too, right?
yeah. And so like you just got to do it, and then if some people are like, you drive all this way just to do like this open mic or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's crazy, and I'm like, yeah, well,
Gotta love it.
what else you got to do?
Right.
What else you gonna do? Right? Like I'm doing it because this is what I do. Like, and then on the way back, I dissect my set and all that stuff. And what do? Go have a pizza and then go jerk off and play video games. I was like, okay, well, you do you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, everyone's different. But if I saw somebody all of a sudden like, man, that guy started after me and he's killing it. Like, how do you get so good? Then I got to find out. I got to see if I can do more than what he's doing, you know,
Right.
like to catch up, you know. I feel that all the time. And it's not like I'm competitive, like I want to beat him. I'm just like, I'm not doing enough. Like if I see someone doing more, I'm like, well,
But you're also competitive and want to beat them.
well, I want to know I'm not missing out because I'm not working hard enough.
Right.
You know, like I'm like,
How's he training?
yeah,
Kind of thing, like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right.
Like a race car team, you know, you're looking at all of a sudden that one team's, you know, got a half a second on everyone else, and they're like, what? They figured something out, you know,
Uh-huh.
and then they win for like 3 weeks, and then the rest of them figure it out.
I was lucky I got the train. I got the train at home. I made a gym at home, but I'd always, every once in a while, like to go out and train with my colleagues just to see what they're doing and different. At the time when I was growing up, we had Rob Blake to look up to, and Nelson Emerson, and Rick Wamsey was just retiring. But John Stevens.
Did you play with Rick Wamsey in St. John's?
I missed him.
Oh, you missed him.
Yeah. So, and then you got Jason Collomar and Jordy Kinnear and, these guys. So, I would go out and work out with these guys once in a while, just kind of see where they're at with their training. And then I would take what I learned back and I would just train at home, and I would just make sure I would train harder. And I find like you're doing the same. That's what you're doing. There's no difference in compete and that's the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
Right. Find out how they're training, and
except I know I'm not doing what I should be doing yet.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. That's one thing that I in Newfoundland, we're going to Newfoundland.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And so in Newfoundland, that's where I'm going to lay it out. But it's like I basically got to like break my day into like I got to write from this, for 2 hours or whatever. I got to do it every day at this chunk of day, and I got to take a break, and I got to like, relax once in a while, and I got to eat lunch, and stuff like that's got to be in there. But then, and I got to do my editing, and I got to do my promotion, and I got to do all these things. But I want to have it scheduled and kind of know what I'm doing on a daily basis, because and then stick to it like a discipline, like working out.
So this is what you're planning when we go to Newfoundland?
Because I'm going to be off on, because it's vacation for me. I'm off I'm going for a week, right?
Right.
So I'm going to, while I'm on vacation, I'm going to like kind of chart out my weekly routine that I want to build. And then by the time I get back from my vacation, I'm going to have to implement this thing like a discipline.
Gotcha. Cool.
Because that's the only way I can ever do things, is if I fucking make myself. When me and Jane did that P90X thing, it was just like, it was brutal.
I remember when you guys did that, man. I was like,
well, somebody got ripped.
You guys are ripped, man. I just realized it one day.
Yeah, me and Jane all of a sudden just like we're training for a Marvel movie or something. But it was like, well, let's do it. Like, if we're going to do it, then let's do it. I've always had that mentality, but, and also I think growing up on a farm, you have seasons, right? So then like, if like I'm going like snot, like doing this thing to accomplish this thing, then I know, there's an end to it, and I can work towards the end, Right. So that's what I'm hoping that this will do. But first build the discipline and just get out of bed every morning and, do your exercises kind of thing. Yeah. It's going to be like that with everything that I know I should be doing that I'm not. I'm finding other things to do. But by the way, my garden looks great.
I love it. We just put ours in.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I find anything to distract me from the things I should be doing, But the good news is I have a lot of cool shit that I've built and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I think I got sidetracked about the German thing. I was talking about Steve. We're supposed to tell German jokes. You're Belgian, right? And so we're not going to hurt the Belgians' feeling. But there was this one. You ever hear this story? This is when Steve, he had like I think it was his third kid, eh? And he was in the delivery room.
Like 8 of them, right?
He's got like 8 or 9 kids, I think. And then I was like his third or fourth, maybe his 6th. I don't know. It was one of his children. He was in the delivery room, and there was 2 other men who had babies the same day as Steve had his baby. And then there was a mix-up, because there was a hydro outage or something, and there was a big mix-up, and they didn't know whose babies was whose, right? And so they had to like try to identify the babies from the dads. And Steve was like, Steve's sitting there, and they're trying to size him up these babies.
The one with the beard.
Yeah. Then there's this Dutch guy, right? He's there. And then there's this guy from like Nigeria, right? And black as night, right? This guy. Anyways, Steve, he's like, how the heck are we gonna? He goes, well, the Dutchman's got a plan, right? He says, I think we should draw straws and figure out who gets to pick first, right? So the Dutchman, they all draw straws, and the Dutchman picks the shortest straw. He gets to go first, or the longest straw, whatever. So he picks the black baby, is what the Dutchman picked. Steve's like, oh, come on. That's clearly not your baby, Yep. And the Dutchman says, yeah, but I don't want to take any chance of getting a German. Yep. Right? Right? That's it. I don't want to say this.
Horrible.
I don't want to say
What?
What?
Just say it. You don't want to say this, but what?
Wait. Well, it was. I want to say this is about anyone in particular.
No.
But I won't tell you. But my friend Steve. It could be any Steve.
Yeah.
I don't know what nationality this guy is. I forget the joke now. You ever been to Gatsby's? Remember Gatsby's?
I have, yeah.
It's tore down now, right? It's
90s.
gone.
Oh, yeah?
That's a rough place, that Gatsby's,
Yeah. Marco's right beside it or above it?
Yeah.
The whip.
I remember one time my buddy, he bought me the best table dance you could get at Gatsby's in Simcoe, and he I go in the back room with this girl, right away. She just I sit down, and she's like walks in front of me. She pulls her like underpants and down, and she bends right over and like spreads her whole like compartment down there part. And I'm like, holy Moses, how'd you know? Like, how do you know that I like that stuff, And the lady goes, I didn't. I just thought you might want to open your beer.
She had TV in there, right?
Right. That was for Clean Flow, because Clean Flow said I don't tell enough jokes on the air. Right? They say you don't tell enough jokes. That's for them. We got that kind of reminds me. We should go into a segment that we call a feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. It's motherfucking feedback.
Welcome, everyone. To feedback. We got feedback. This is brought to you by our friends at Clean Flow, who brought you those jokes. And so go to cleanflow.com. That's KLEENFLO.com. And check out their line of great products. And they're available at stores everywhere. Clean Flow, check them out. They'll lube up your life, or whatever slogan. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, Manny. And I also want you to bring attention to my lovely T-shirt here. This is kind of like something that doesn't make sense until like my special comes out, but it's my new merch, I Heart Dick Jokes, and it is so far the first one printed, but anyone can have one out there if you go to the Dutch Hall merch shop just on our website, and you can get links to that stuff. We can sell you a bunch of different T-shirts and prints. We got posters. And there's more being listed on there every day. There's a couple products you can only get if you are a Diamond Club member, which this next person who provided feedback is our good friend from Australia. I got a friend from Australia, Ryan, that I've never met in my life, never seen him, but I'll tell you, I feel like I know the guy because we talk almost every week, it seems. And I really do believe that if I go to Australia and I look this guy up, that we would have thought we knew each other forever. And I may even be convinced after reading this piece of feedback that this guy may be part of my family, because he sounds like one of our Van Dykes, eh? Let me just read this to you. It says, thanks in advance for the shirt. Well, he's going to get a shirt. Okay. I don't go to church because we said that he could wear the shirt I'm giving him to church. He goes, I don't go to church. And given the service for my aunt's funeral in Holland was watched online with my parents, I ain't likely to go soon. So, because you can always watch church on TV, it's easy. It was weird. It's weird hearing God being said so often without the verdama. You know that one?
Hatverdama.
You said Hatverdama, right? Yeah, because that's your family was afraid to go to hell. And my family as well. So we said Hatverdama. But this guy's family, we said Gutverdama. Man, these guys were bad. Eh? That's why they sent them to Australia. Prison camp, eh? Yeah. Anyhow. Where were we on this one? Hatverdama. The spelling is wrong, but I know you know the phrase. Yeah, I know Gutverdama and Hatverdama, but I ain't going to say the first one. I'll tell you that. Never been in a nightclub. Never been a nightclub person, but once we went after my 21st, and apparently I said to a mate, watch this, and I walked up to the bar, grabbed 2 beers as a stranger was paying for them, and said thanks and walked off. And my younger brother worked there and said the barmaid told security, and then he said, I ain't going to get him out of here, and walked away because this guy's a giant, eh?
Okay.
He's a giant. So not only do I have a friend in Australia,
Bouncer.
but like he's a giant, right? So if I go around with this guy, we can pretty much have the run of the place, just doing shit we want to do. You want to go to Australia?
I'd love to go.
Yeah, we should do it. He's got a great couch. It looks like a bunch of pussies all over it. He sent me a picture of one time. He said I could sleep on it. Was that it? Oh, sorry. The barmaid said I walked away. I have very little memory of that night myself. That sounds like something that could have happened at a Van Dyke hockey tournament for sure. So anyways, Emil, the t-shirt, I'm going to get my shit together. It will be there shortly. I promise you. And thank you very much for the feedback. If you would like to be like him, you can give us a piece of feedback at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or thedutchhall@gmail.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that shit. And if you'd like to be like our queen, Jen Husko, please support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/dutchhall. And there's a lot of different tiers out there and different ways you can support the show and become a member. And if you do, you will be rewarded with the Forbidden Hot Tub video, which is only available until Dave Charters listens to this segment of the show one time and makes us take it down again. But
Forbidden Hot Tub video.
You want to see it?
Yes.
It costs you $10
per month.
No. I will show you. I think I probably ran up a copy of that. I have one on the computer. I'll show you after the show. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. He's mad because someone at his place of business said I saw it and it was hilarious. And he's like, take it down. I'm like, he said it was hilarious. He's like, I don't want people here knowing anything. Like, take it down, and he's like all anal about it. I'm like, fuck, okay. So I took it down for a while, but I'm like, well, Patreon, I only got one person that gives me money on Patreon. She wants to see it. So I said, can I show it people on Patreon? He said, I'd rather you didn't. And then I go, he said, I'd rather you didn't. And then I'm like, but he knows Jen. He'd be cool with Jen seeing it. Jen's not going to ruin his life, but it's why we become strangers, Then he starts to become like, I don't want anyone seeing it. Right. Like, and I'm like, why? It's fucking funny. Everyone likes it. It's not like anyone doesn't like it. He's like, there's nothing you can get in trouble for. What? You got in trouble for being hilarious at work?
So what he wants, I guess, is his body out there, is it?
Yeah, it is his body. It wasn't much of his body being shown, though. It was really more of his face. And
that's not necessarily body, but he doesn't want it out there. Why would you put it out there?
I don't. Well, I've only put it out there to one person, which is Jen. Or if a person, like, all of a sudden gives me Patreon money, then I have to go, holy shit.
You got to split it with Dave then. You got to tell him.
I'm like, Dave, I gotta tell you, I gotta come clean with you. Do you know so-and-so? and he'll be like, he works in my plant. And I'm like, oh, we're in big trouble, buddy. I'm taking this thing right down. But he was like, he might already have a copy, and he's out to ruin your life with you being hilarious. But, but I don't know.
Awesome.
Anyhow, the hot tub video and Patreon.
I want to see it still.
What?
I still want to see it.
Yeah, I'll show you after the show. I should be able to show it. Like, it should be like on our best of, or our highlight thing. It's a damn shame because it's funny and we had a great time. Even just the whole thing where Steve, because we all were in a mustache contest, and so I was like, we're gonna do this mustache show. And we all had huge mustaches, and I'm like, well, how are we gonna like capitalize on this? We only have mustaches one time, so like let's Steve's buddy had a film, like he was good with the camera and stuff, so he had a whole lighting setup and a good camera and that, so he filmed us and we had this footage for a while, and we eventually edited it, but it was just like us in the hot tub with our mustaches, like we were gonna sell Brabant Musk, I think.
That's awesome.
And then Steve, because he wouldn't shave his beard for the mustache contest because he didn't want to look unprofessional by shaving his beard, right? This is crazy to me to this day. I still don't understand this.
Well, he was very attached to that beard, eh?
Yeah, you want to know why? Because he has a swastika-shaped birthmark on his cheek.
I tattooed him.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
I think it was God that tattooed him. It was a birthmark. It seriously grew in the shape of a swastika. I think that's what it is, but I don't know. It might be something different, but he's never corrected us as to why. So that's the answer I came up with. Just like
That's probably what it is, because it would grow back in a couple of weeks.
Hey Ryan, you can, if you were like, there's only 2 girls left, like it's like either a desert island situation or like there's like a apocalypse or something, and it's you and there's 2 girls left, right? And it's you and another guy maybe, so you get first choice of the 2 girls that are left in the world, and you get to bang that girl for the rest of your lives, right? And they're identical twins, right? and their personalities are like pretty much the same. They're both just sweethearts, but one of them has no arms, right? And one of them has no legs. Which girl do you choose?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By no arms, I mean stumps to like halfway in the bicep.
And no legs, you mean?
No
like me?
stumps.
Okay.
Like halfway in the calf, like above the knee. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'd have to carry her around.
Yeah, I think you should be strong and stay in shape if she had no legs, using her arms all the time. I'm going to go with the no legs.
No legs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still get handies.
Yeah, you can do a lot with your hands more than your feet.
Yep.
Well, it depends if these girls lost their limbs in an accident, like just recently, or were they born this way? Because if they were born this way, I'd choose the no arms.
Hard to do dishes with no arms.
Yeah.
No, you can, because they never knew any different.
Oh.
So what they always just do is they just sit on a
It's hard wiping your
broomstick.
ass too. Like, who's gonna be wiping her ass?
Oh.
What? You wipe your ass with your feet.
I can't even like touch my hands to my.
Yeah, because you were born with arms.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I saw a guy. He came to our work. He had no arms. He was born that way, right? And he brushed his teeth with his feet, and he would drive a car with his feet. And the guy goes like, "You think he's super flexible, obviously?" But he goes, "I've always used my legs as feet, right?" So, but a leg is sexy. An arm, who gives a fuck?
Well, arms are sexy too,
right?
What yeah.
I guess you could get a foot job instead of a hand job. I don't know.
Yeah, she probably have like a foot, like a chimpanzee grip you.
On those feet too, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
like sandpaper.
Yeah, it'd be like Paul giving you a hand job. That's the worst
Sam
visual ever.
Fish.
Well, I guess it's feet then. I take the arm, girl.
You know,
I don't. Yeah.
you know who's probably who's probably the most requested person that people want back on the show? It's not even the band. It's Paul.
Oh, for sure. Paul's awesome.
They ask for him all the time. And he basically slept in the corner, and he hated the show. He only liked the music, right? He would say the rest of the show is boring, and then and that's what people miss, eh?
He was good for saying cunt once in a while. Though.
Yeah.
I know his timing was great. He was
Yeah.
kind of like Wes, eh, where he would just throw in beauties once in a while.
Yep.
Beaver's like just beauty.
Nonstop.
Anyways, so let's go another hypothetical. One more hypothetical.
I love hypotheticals.
Don't you?
The best.
So, what's a good hypothetical? Can you Google one? Just look, Google a hypothetical. I thought I had one for the end of the show. Maybe that was it. They don't no arms and no legs.
Consuelo.
And you would pick the legs, eh?
Yeah, I'd keep the legs. I like a leg. I like a nice leg.
like a leg,
I'm not a
too.
foot guy. Like that's kind of creepy. I like. I think if you like, I don't mind. I don't.
You're driving a car with your feet.
Well, that's just a talent. Like
That's a
for a
serious
person with a disability, and plus that's flexibility and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. There could be like I guess if you with that much of a stump, you could put like blades onto the girl with no legs, you know, and then she could be like a Blade Runner kind of type of person, and then still be like, you know, pretty much fully like you wouldn't even know any different, right?
A Blade Runner, eh? Like, are you talking like a...
You know, like
Like a
that
skier,
Oscar Pistorius.
Okay.
You know, the guy that killed his girlfriend?
No, I don't know.
He was a Blade Runner. He had no legs, but they put these like hook
those
things,
little- yeah, I know.
and they're like springs when you run.
Gotcha.
When you would run.
Yeah. All the more reason to have the arms. It just goes blades on
Yeah.
the knees.
I want to ask you one hockey question, okay? Because I'm interested to hear this question because I think I know the answer to this. And but if you said if they could make a character like a movie about one person, I don't even want like not their career, but their character, right? One person that you played hockey with or that you know from your time in hockey that is the most interesting character that you think they should make a movie about. Who would you think would make the most interesting movie?
Oh man, there's a lot of characters out there. Frank the Animal Bialois just comes to my head first.
Yeah, that one always that's who I thought you'd say. And I think that guy is
There was
like
a
a
movie made
whole
about him.
There was a movie?
Well, they didn't.
About that hockey club he was on.
Yeah, Danbury Trashers.
Yeah.
But
They didn't mention him in that though.
Yeah, he was. There's another one. No, it's called the Goon. That's the one. Sorry.
Oh,
the Goon.
that was about him?
That was more Frankie. Yeah.
But did they show him or?
No, they didn't. But they just it was him, and
Oh yeah.
he couldn't capitalize on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was because I interviewed him, but anyways,
He was just a character
But
on
you know,
his own.
some French guys too. Maxim Talbot. You know, he's a character too. I don't know if you remember him from the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played with him when he was a rookie in Wilkes-Barre, and then again with the Penguins the following year. And he was a real true character. That guy.
A lot of goalies too are weirdos, eh?
Yeah. There's a few wacky goalies.
I don't understand.
But I always got along with the goalies. I love the goalies.
Yeah, all players always talk about how funny Glenn Healy is and how much they like him. And then on TV, I don't see what everyone likes about him. Like he seems so unlikable to me. But like he must have been hilarious in the dressing room.
He was my first year with the Rangers. He was the goalie with the Rangers, and he was. You don't want to get in a jab fest with him. His one-liners are so fast, right? But I see what you're talking about on the
On TV, he's a
It's not the
grumpier.
same, it's not the same personality that he had in the dressing room.
Yeah, he gets. It's like he gets serious. I saw like comics that I watched their podcasts, and you kind of get to know them. You know, they watching their podcasts, you just get to know how funny they can be because you see them relaxed in themselves. And then I see him going like Joe Rogan, and you know the pressure of it all because it's like this can make your whole career. You can like make a real living now, and they're telling the stories. I've heard them tell a bunch of times, but they're like just puckered up assholes, you know, like, and you can tell they're so nervous or like in their own head thinking about it. And that's like the fucking curse, man. It's like you get in your own head because you think it's important, and you actually do worse because you're trying harder because you think it's important. Did you find that when you played, it's like if it was an important game and you like put that pressure on yourself, would you sometimes screw up more or like be like hold the stick tighter? Or?
Yeah. And, you know, a good coach recognizes that, and, you know, he brings that to the attention to the team. Sometimes you'll see it in individuals. Sometimes you'll see it in a whole team with, you know, but that's definitely brought up.
But you can tell a person's trying too hard.
Yeah, because you're handling the puck not like you normally would handle it. You're trying to move the puck when you shouldn't move the puck. You're trying to make forced plays when you don't really have to make forced plays.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely.
Like one time I had to do like I was in the Go Yuck Yourself final, and my buddy Doug Koning ended up winning that, and he was we did our sets, and after my set he's like you did all your jokes, you didn't screw anything up, but like what happened? Like what was different, you know?
The delivery.
And it was just because I was like it was really important to me. I wanted to really kill it, you know. Right. But I wasn't loose at all. Like I was just like really, I don't know. I just seemed more uptight about it.
So how do you get loose? How do you perform at peak levels where like I could never do what you're doing, forced to talk and make jokes? It just blows me away that people can do that. We went to Yuck Yucks the other day at Second Sandbar, and there was 3 comedians. Oh yeah, they're all good. There was the woman, there's a middle one, and she was okay. You could tell the first guy was a bit of a rookie, but he had some talent. He had some good lines, but the last guy, you can tell he was polished. Like I can't remember his name, but he was like kept us all in stitches right from the beginning to the end. It was neat.
Yeah.
See,
I like to. You're asking how do you what?
Yeah. So this guy, like, how do you
stay loose?
Yeah. If you're gonna go on, like,
yeah. Well, repetition is like calluses the feeling of any nerves you'd have, so that the nerves are gone, right? You might get excited or whatever, but you like, it's like playing, right? Your first game, you can't help but be nervous, but like your 10th, 20th, you know, you kind of get a feel for it. You're not as nervous anymore. So like that's part of it. And then the other part is like, I've been doing it when you do it long enough. I think the only way is to do it. You can't like shortcut there, unfortunately, but when you do it long enough, you almost like go out there and say something that is probably not going to work as like an icebreaker or something, or like a palate cleanser or something, and when it doesn't work, where that used to kill me, now I laugh at it. Like I laugh. It. Yeah, like I'm like, look, I just like these guys expect me to be funny, and the first thing I said, they hated, right? And that makes me laugh. Like, and I'm not trying to do it on purpose, but I think subconsciously I put a little, but I just know that I'm playing with them, you know, like it's playful, and then I don't care, like if the jokes fail or the jokes land, like I don't care, like I really don't. Like I'm getting information from them. It's terrible to say, but I'm getting information because I need it. But like if it bombs, it's funny.
But how do you differentiate between, like, how do you know what crowd you're speaking to? Because every crowd's you might have a bunch of corporate assholes or good guys, or a bunch of families, or a bunch of like you just get like, how do you know
Yeah, you got to change
What-
gears. Like if you're playing against somebody that's like you know that they're gonna play you physical, you got to be prepared to play them that way. And if you know that guy's gonna give you room, you're gonna be able to take more liberties on try more things because they've given you room. It's the same sort of thing at a corporate event. I got a shorter bench. Like I got not as many jokes I can use.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wrote a lot of jokes, but I can't use them all, and so you feel a little limited. You don't feel yourself. It's bullshit. You're doing it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then if most of the time though, those corporate gigs, you can do clean and then work your ease in to dirty, and then eventually say, does anyone care if I'm dirty? And then they say no, or they say go for it, and then. Or if you whisper fuck, they're okay with it. But it's like, there's little things like, I think I'm a good PG-13 comic. Anyways, but you just have to and then like at first you just got 5 minutes and you're fucked.
Right.
The crowd doesn't like your 5 minutes. You don't have another 5 minutes. You're just fucked.
Right.
You're going to eat shit. But then you write enough jokes and you know that, sometimes I got crowds that aren't going to like that kind of joke. I got to write more jokes that they'd like too, and then so tonight's a young crowd. I'm going to tell these ones because young people like those.
But you don't know that until you get there, right?
Until I get there, yeah.
Yeah, then you just pull out your Rolodex of jokes and say, okay, I'm going to focus on these ones.
Yeah, I always think of it like you're going in with a toolbox, and all your jokes are in your toolbox, and then you get to the job, and then I look at the room, and that's kind of assessing what I gotta fix, what for the guy that's doing the job, and then you just go in your toolbox and I put out your tools. But when I don't know which jokes I'm doing until I get there.
That reminds so the guy that the first comedian that I saw last Friday, I felt like he had all the tools, but he didn't have a toolbox.
Oh yeah, they're flying around. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I knew who these people were because it'd be interesting to hear your take.
So you can find out the lineup if you just contact the Second Sandbar and say, who'd you have in there last Friday?
All right.
If you really want to know.
Yeah.
So, what do you do if, say, you're on with a bunch of people that are good, and everybody's eating dick?
Yeah.
Like how? And say there's 5 years, you go up fourth, 3 people before you who are funny all eat shit.
Yeah.
How do you approach that?
Well, if 3 of them bomb before me, this is just purely my limited view, and this is I might be saying something totally stupid that other people would say like, oh, what a rookie, But this is what I would do. I would be like, okay, the first guy bombs. I'd be like, okay, why? Maybe they just don't like him or whatever. By the time the second guy bombs, you're like, okay, I'm looking for patterns as to why. And then by the third guy, it's like, if 3 people in front of me bombed, you got to go out there. If the host doesn't make you special, then you have to make yourself special in that situation. So you have to wipe your slate clean of them.
Okay.
If your host is shit too, and he's not making them forget about
not resetting them.
Yeah, then you have to do it yourself. So you have to kind of go out there and admit to the crowd that they've just been through some shit,
Yeah.
And they're not happy. They don't like it, Yeah. But then try to kind of I don't know, try to change the approach to do something different than the other 3 did, to try to bring the room together.
Yeah.
And then usually I'll really go at the crowd. I'll really make the crowd talk to me. Cause if the crowd's quiet, I'll make them talk to me, and I'll get people from the back of the room and from both sides, from all over the room. Yeah. Just to ask them questions and stuff, to try to get the whole room to pay attention, and then kind of go into your jokes.
Gotcha.
And then that's fun ad libs too, because you make it look like you can try to make romance connections, and you can try to accuse people of being hot for each other and stuff like that. It's fun.
It must be as challenging for you as a hockey player. Nothing's going for 2 periods. to go out the third, you got to make changes, right? But
Yeah, like you could be trying so hard and working like, but they're just not doing the right thing, and then you just we're always told, just go back to the basics. Just don't have a play, chip it off the wall, and just get it out and go after it or change. But breathing was a big thing too for us. Once I learned how to breathe properly, while doing the sport, it really made a difference with my conditioning and the way I dealt with my nerves before games.
That's just. I hear that a lot more and more now about people saying like, don't forget to breathe when you're doing the stuff that you're doing. And because you, if you're not being deliberate about it, when you think about it, it's stupid, right? Like, of course you're breathing, right? You're like, but when you're like playing a sport, you're thinking about all the other shit you're doing. And a lot of times you are holding your breath.
Well, a lot of us are shallow breathers to begin with. If you just take a deep breath in and blow it all out.
That's really
I just feel so good. Do that a few times, and then just it's almost like a meditative state that you can get into. And that was a good Mike Krushelniski. I remember
Mike Krushelniski.
Yeah, I remember it was in 1990. I was drafted at least in 92, so it was that training camp, and I remember being so nervous being on the ice with these guys and skating. And at the end, Pat Burns was our coach at the time, and he made us do laps around the ice. Maple Leaf Gardens, and it was going on for a while, and I was heeled over and like just catching my breath in between whistles, and I didn't know Mike at all, and he comes up and says, "Hey kid, don't make it look like you're tired. Stand up straight and just breathe." It's a good point. So I did, and that was a lesson that I learned.
I think it was Game 6. The Lakers and the Celtics, this is Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. And they went into Boston, and it was like real hot, humid weather, like crazy hot and humidity, and the Boston Garden was like unbearable, and then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had to have like a oxygen mask, and Larry Bird came out and, like fresh as a daisy the whole time. So he goes, it gets way hotter on the farm in French Lick. He had that mentality in his head. It gets way hotter on the farm. And I've worked way harder on the farm. Like he always had the farms harder, as his thing. And so he just went into mindset, like I've been through worse, like no problem. He looked like everyone else is dying. He's like, just like, it looks like he's fresh as a daisy, but it's all mindset, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
You can accomplish a lot. They say that even pain is a state of mind. It's a mindset. It's not real. And that in certain cultures, getting your hair cut is like excruciatingly painful, but like you can pull their teeth without problems, And
yeah, there's some people that can just get their teeth pulled without any freezing. Just they can somehow shut off that receptor to the brain.
Yeah, it's in their brain.
I'm not in pain.
And there's nut jobs
going on, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You ever like some people are like that you must have fought against where they could just take a punch. You might be one of them.
Yeah. I've been going to take a few.
And then, but like that is like I've seen it with friends of mine who are like, they're tough, but they're terrible fighters. You know what I mean? So they just get their ass kicked all the time, and they just never say when.
The most scary ones are the ones that are tough, that can give a beating, but can also take a punch. You hit a guy's hard, you can, he doesn't move. You say, "Oh shit,
yeah,
I'm in trouble."
A lot of times it's wiry guys you don't expect, eh? Right. Or like they don't look like they're as tough as they are, but they're those wiry guys. Yeah. Watch out for them. Like you'll see a big muscular guy. I used to be like, now I'm just like not intimidated by a muscular guy because I know that you can't move like that. And in a real situation, you need to be able to move. Like those MMA guys, they can move. They're built like more like you are now. But like you in hockey would be a terrible like wrestler.
Yeah.
Right? Because you were too big.
Did you remember Hoist Gracie? He was like one of the MMA guys way back in the day.
Yeah, Hoist Gracie, yeah.
And he just never lost a fight, I don't think, against these guys in the ring. And these guys were big and muscular and brawlers. They were just absolute brawlers.
Yeah.
He would somehow manipulate his opponent down to the ground, and the way he could stretch and move and put him in these submissive holds.
His brother was better.
Yeah. And their dad, I think, was right into it too. The whole family. It was like, whoa, these guys are.
Yeah, now everyone has to incorporate some of that jiu-jitsu into their game, or they're just not going to be competitive.
Yeah.
That's how much they changed the game. Because at first it was like you had to have a boxer go against a or a wrestler. You know, everybody had to do their thing and not stray out.
Now it's you got to know a bit of everything.
Yeah, you got to definitely know.
Yeah, if you don't know everything, you're going to lose. You got to know. That's so cool. In another life, I would have done that.
Yeah.
MMA or just?
I would have done MMA, yeah. I would have fought. Like, I would have competitively fought. I think it would have been fun. I still think I could fight.
Did you and Paul fight a lot when you guys were younger?
Yeah.
Like full out fist fights?
No. Like, Paul would fist fight me and I would wrestle him.
Oh, you're the wrestler.
Yeah, because I didn't want to punch my little brother because he was my little brother.
So when was your last fight? Like, he got to an age where he reached his balls dropped, I'm sure, and then he got to be as big as you or bigger than you.
Yeah.
So did you guys fight post that?
Yeah, so there's the last time we fought was like maybe 5 years ago at Greg Bowe's across the road.
Oh.
When we were building his deck, and I just had enough of being treated the way. I just had enough of him.
You guys
had
are
enough
fighting.
of me.
You're brothers, right?
He came at me, man, and then same move though, overhand right. Just gotta.
You threw it.
No, he threw it.
He threw it over.
I didn't know I was gonna be in a fight. I was a man in my 40s. I didn't think we still fist fought, you know. And then he comes just fucking fired up and running at me with his big overhand right, which is all he. That's his only move. Big swinging, angry overhand right. If you get hit with it, you're gonna go sleep. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a good chance you're gonna go
Game
sleep.
over.
Yeah.
But if you can avoid the overhand right, he's left himself vulnerable. Yeah. Yes, because I've fought him for my whole life.
So then what happened after he missed you?
I tied him up into a pretzel.
Did you really? Serious?
Yeah. And then I started yelling at him, don't you think I'm a man?
So what was he doing?
Oh, he's mad. He gets mad when I tie him up. No, I don't make him like submit. I just tie him up so he can't move. Like I don't want to hurt him. I just tie him up so he can't move. And then he's like even madder. And then he gets real red. He's like, as soon as you let me go, you usually get one straight punch when you let him go. Like you gotta let him go, but you gotta get away like you're letting a tiger out of the cage. You're just like fucking run away from the cage. Because he was mean, and he had one. He'd get you. He'll throw that punch at you, and if he caught you with it, it hurt. Even when he was younger, like when we were young, he had a good punch. Yeah. We called him my wrestling name. I was Leaping Pete Van Dyke, and he was Paul.
Leaping Pete,
and he was Paul the Punch. He was Paul the Punch Van Dyke. Yeah, and it was like, I would dominate every match, like pretty much bell to bell. But I would let Paul have the victory a lot, and I would sell this. This is how much of a wrestling nerd I was, even as a kid. Like the story was, that I'm beating the shit out of him. I'm the bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. You're Paul the Punch. You're gonna take this beating, but then out of nowhere, you throw me that magic punch.
Yeah.
Then you got me pinned 1, 2, 3, right? So I would basically like torture him for half an hour, and then when I felt he had about enough, I'd be like, go for the finish, And then he'd give me the one. I'd get hit once, and then I'd lay down for the 3.
Oh.
But he was younger than me at first, so it didn't matter. And then we got to be like where Paul was about 16 and I was about 19. And we had a fight in the it was in the hallway of my parents' farmhouse, and there was like a piano and carpet there and staircase and stuff. And we tore that shit up. And my mom got real upset, because we're like banging around a piano, like we're like moving the piano around.
Your mom screaming.
Well, so yeah, she's like screaming and upset. And so then we realized how upset my mom got. And then afterwards, my brother and I just said like, okay, let's not do that anymore. Like we're getting too big and we're upsetting mom, like. there was still like, there's always a little bit of anger in it, but you're usually like, still fucking around. Like it was still sport to it. To me, it was more sport than it was to my brother, I'm sure.
Right.
But like, I thought when he got really tough at that time, it was more fun.
You're right.
Cause he's like,
Competitive, yeah.
yeah, it's competitive, right? Like, I don't want to, like the stuff you like, it's like playing basketball with your son or something. And you're like, you know, you're dominating him and you don't want him to like think basketball is just getting bullied by their dad. So you like let him win and you help him out and stuff. And then eventually he gets to play real basketball with you and you don't want to let him win. You're like trying hard, right? And then that's the same thing with this, you know. Actually, I did play basketball with my daughter. Yeah. And both my daughters. Luckily, one of them sucks. They're like me. Yeah. I used to be good at basketball, like really good. And then I can't fucking shoot to save my life anymore.
No way Leaping Pete cannot be good at
I'm going to
basketball.
work on my jumper, man.
Get her back.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to shoot
Muscle
some
memory.
I'm going to have to do like some, I really, my one daughter is just like, she hadn't touched the ball in as long as me, it seems, but she's out there just draining them from half court. Like, can't miss. My oldest daughter. Yeah, like crazy.
I thought you guys were more volleyball players than basketball.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
But there's a hoop in the park in our subdivision here. And so I'm like, I got a basketball on Amazon using the website, and our Amazon link, you know, on Live Industrial's website.
Oh, nice.
Get a bit of money back.
Get a little money back. Hey, if you go to that, the audition, what's the clicker say?
$1.16.
Oh, $1.16. That's not too bad. Yeah, man. So I went and I'm trying to get it back again because I played so much volleyball. I think this is why my shot stinks, because I played so much volleyball that I got used to the weight of the volleyball. And now I'm got with a heavier ball. It's like I either am like too much weight or not enough, you know? So I got to get used to the weight of it. I used to have a sweet touch, man.
Our basketball net just moved probably 30 feet from where it is from the windstorm today.
Yeah, I saw that picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like got a full weight on the bottom and everything?
Well, no, I had 6 cinder blocks sitting on it. Yeah. And it's tipped over many times, but it's never moved.
It was wicked wind today. It was wicked.
I was sitting in my office looking outside the window, and all of a sudden it went really dark, and then the wind picked up, and then I couldn't see 1 foot out past the window.
Rain?
It was rain, and it's like a cloud just came right down too. It was really strange. And then, so well, I can't do nothing. The hydro's up. I'm going to go lay in my bed and just watch this storm, and ended up falling asleep for had a nice 45-minute nap.
Oh, to the rain?
The sun was shining. It was beautiful.
New day.
Yeah, it was crazy. Came in like a little pockets, eh? Mm-hmm. And we got hit with one, and it was just like for that period of time, it was like wind was swirling around, and like the rain was coming in sideways, and sometimes it'd be raining so hard, and then the wind would blow, and then it would feel like it wasn't raining just because the wind wasn't letting it hit the ground, you know. And then it stopped, and then it's done. You know, like it was just like nice drizzle after that, you know, and then. But like, it's wild when you see that when you really see the awesome force of nature, it's there is a respect for it, you know, totally. Like you just know you're at its mercy, you know.
Realize how minuscule we all are.
You see some of the bullshit that people build, like when I was in San Francisco, my buddy took me to the San Andreas fault line. Which is like the big fault line, right? Like, and then it's supposed to crack, and then
it falls off.
Yeah, it falls into the ocean, whatever. Well, they were like, they had a earthquake like every 103 years. I think you're supposed to have an earthquake on the San Andreas fault line in San Francisco.
Okay,
and so I think 103 years from the last big one was like 1999 or something. So we're like 20 years overdue for the big one, right? And they've given up on it. like shortly after it not happening, they're like, it's supposed to be every 103, didn't happen. Let's
We're good.
we're good. So it's all high rises and shit on there. It's all just like insurance buildings and
Put it on some springs. You're good.
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what you're thinking. Like people just do stupid shit, right? Like they just can't help it.
I don't know.
I want to go like in the middle of nowhere. Like, I think that would be. Actually, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be nomadic. I would want to be everywhere.
You want to be everywhere.
Yeah. Because why would you want to be in one spot? What?
You don't want to go anywhere, but you want to be everywhere.
Yeah. No, I want to go. I want to go for sure. I think. Do you get sick of the same like scenery, or you still get a chance to go travel?
I like being at home, being nowhere. Be honest with you, I really like not going anywhere.
Really, like if you get an opportunity to do like a trip like Afghanistan or something like that.
Yes, that's different. Yeah, so I do like traveling. So, but when I'm home, I don't like to leave home.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way about that, but like I like to go. What I feel like I haven't been able to do is like go somewhere else in the world or see another part of the world and then come back here and be happy to be here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like I've been here so much that I got to get away from it for a good enough period of time that I really start to enjoy being, to appreciate being home again. You know?
I got to appreciate home, like where we grew up here in Norfolk County, early, because I left home when I was like 17 and lived in like 16 different cities over like a 20-year period.
Yeah.
And I always knew that I was going to come back to Norfolk County because I just loved it back home.
Nothing looked as good.
Yeah. I mean, there's beautiful places that I stayed at, but it just home was home. We live in I think a very unique area, 90 miles southwest of the GTA, but yet we're still private. We're on a great lake,
Yeah. I thought the same thing actually when I was going to have kids. I'm like, I'll definitely looking for work back home.
Yeah. But yeah, traveling is nice. I mean,
you got an excessive amount of travel for quite a few years too, right?
Yeah, like we were all over the map, right? Yeah. North America, every major city, and Laguna Beach, California. Though I could live there. That's a really cool little spot.
Yeah, I was in Venice Beach. I like that. I could live in Venice or Malibu. They're kind of like Port Dover and Long Point.
Yeah. I felt like Laguna Beach was a lot like Port Dover, but like 10 times better.
Yeah, but better. Yeah.
No Callahans though.
No Callahans, no.
Yeah, I found. I think Colorado too is the same thing. I was there and I was like, I could live in Boulder. Like Boulder seems cool to me. It just felt like comfortable, and yeah, pretty much anywhere. Like I like Northern California, same sort of thing. I got the same sort of vibe. It's like it feels like Ontario,
right?
In Northern California,
very chill.
Very chill. West Coast is more way more chill than we are. Don't you find?
Yeah.
And
I found that down in L.A. That whole scene there was different. Very pretentious and very like if you're not somebody or nobody type thing. It was just like you go into restaurants, bars, and you just kind of see how the vibe is in there, and I didn't like that at all.
Isn't like Skid Row like not far from Beverly or was it Beverly Hills is the rich part? Really rich?
Yeah.
Skid Row's not far.
Well, yeah, in the top.
You're talking Skid Row the band, or you're talking Skid Row
the tent city or whatever it is. And
well, yeah, is it off Sunset?
Yeah.
Or like because Sunset connects Beverly Hills to Hollywood, and
just amazing. There's so much like wealth in
top
one spot, and then down here these people just live in tents.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the top of the hill's rich, bottom of the hill's poor. Rich people, shit runs downhill. Yeah, you want to be high and dry. That's how it goes.
Damn.
If it's something hills, the guy's living in a nice house that's dry, and if it's like in the valley, it means that there's shit in your basement.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's a good geography lesson, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Top of the hill costs more money. You got better views.
Dry.
Anyhow, what I also liked about Boulder is that if you, all the fat people had to stay at the bottom of the hill
The air was too thin.
because the air's too thin. So they were like,
Hard to breathe.
they're like, they're going to stay way at the bottom. Like, and they put the Walmart down there. And then you go up to like the nice part, like where downtown is. It's like halfway up. It's like it's, you know, you go up a couple flights of stairs and you can really feel it. You got like, ooh, I'm winded, you know. And then fat people are like, I'm out. Like they're just like, I'm gonna stay in the parking lot. Yeah, because it's you feel way out of shape when you go there. You go to high altitudes,
Oh, yeah.
you feel like it's
Denver,
kicked your
I remember
ass.
we
man.
always get there a day early just so we can adjust a little bit to the altitude.
Yeah, you would do that.
Yeah.
It's all you have to because it really will fuck you over. I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I remember going to watch a playoff game in mid-'90s when Colorado won the Cup that year. My old trainer from St. John's, Newfoundland, was a trainer with the Colorado Avalanche, and he got me some tickets and went down to Denver and then climbed the mountain, went skiing. And the first week of June, it was awesome. It was freezing up at the very top, and by the time I got down to the very bottom, I could wear a T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, it's nice.
That is really cool. And then now find me a body of water around there, and you can go skiing and hang out on a boat. Then you got the best of both worlds.
That
Yeah, they have some like Lake Tahoe is like that too, or you know, and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that stuff, and everyone's active. And like I would see, like Jane and I were like, we're gonna go climb a mountain. You know, like that was one of the things we wanted to do when we were in Boulder. So we climb our first mountain, and we're like all proud. We're taking pictures. You know, we're like you know, catching our breath at the top of the mountain. Yeah. Some dude wearing like these like runner shorts, you know, the ones that like flop around where you're like that, your cock's coming out of that thing eventually, right? But he's just like running up the mountain to the top and then running down on his lunch break, you know.
Oh, fuck.
Like it's like to the people that live there, you know, there's trails. I guess you can always drive most of the way up too and just like run the last bit. We walked the whole mountain, but the fact of the matter is they just do shit like that. Like even when we were visiting the business down there, and we went there around 10 in the morning. These people that work there, they're just like coming in. They got these like they look like snowshoes, but they got like claws in the bottom of them, you know. And they were ice climbing in Utah that morning, and then they just went for a nice ice climb, and now they're coming to work. So like you could just go and do shit like that's crazy, and then just go on with your day. You know, I thought that was kind of cool because like and everyone you saw, like old people were in good shape, but like I said, if they weren't, they had to stay at the bottom of the hill.
yeah, Walmart.
Yeah, and in the parking lot, they only had one Walmart parking lot for them to stay in.
Don't pass.
Top of the hill was nice because he was like, everyone here is so fit, and then you have to, or you have to leave town. It's just too you have to go to lower ground. Aspen was even worse. When we went to the top, me and my youngest daughter climbed to the top of Mount Aspen, and it was pretty high. And at the end, it was like you know we were really having trouble, kind of like catching our breath. And we would drink our water, and just the oxygen from the H2O would make you feel like you could breathe better by drinking water.
Oh, really?
Because your body would get the oxygen it needed from the water. Right? It was cool. You could really feel yourself like you felt out of breath, and you drink, and you're like, "Oh, I have breath." Yeah. You know, like you didn't feel starved for it.
More air.
I don't know if there's any science behind that, or if that's a Dutch Hall fact, but that's how it felt, and it was corroborated by my daughter, who's also probably had some sort of altitude sickness at the time. My wife and my other daughter took a ski lift to the top.
Took a ski lift, eh?
In the summertime.
Lazy bones.
Pussies.
Yeah.
Right? What's the fun of that?
Yeah.
I want to climb Kilimanjaro because you can go start at the bottom, and then you can go. I think it's like a savanna, and then it goes to tropical rainforest. Or no, it's tropical rainforest, then savanna, then it's like some sort of mountainous tundra or whatever, and then it's rocks. You know, so there's like different ecosystems and different like animals and shit on the whole thing up. And it's a relatively easy climb. And at the top, they have still a glacier if there's might be some
Why
left
don't
of
we
it.
do that for our 50th?
Yeah, let's do it, man. For real.
Yeah.
I think you can train for it too. Like, and then, yeah. I will definitely do it.
Yeah.
And I know I actually looked it up, details. Yeah. That's not a bad idea though.
Yeah.
Cause that's like coming up.
Yeah, that'd be a good milestone.
Holy, is that like, that's like next year.
Yeah, I know. It's not that far away.
Oh my God. That's old as
It's not even 2 years away anymore.
Yeah, I
Damn.
know.
What the hell
fucking
happened?
shit. I don't know.
It is crazy. Like it all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that like I'm really like a half a century old. There's no denying I'm old. But you feel old?
I'm just glad that I'm still here, really, I guess, because look at how many friends
We've
along the
lost.
way.
Yeah, I know. You know,
Every day's a blessing to me. now.
yeah, it kind of is. But like, didn't you think like an old person would feel different? Like when you were old, you'd feel like you. Like I feel kind of. I have the same kind of like the things I worried about when I was a kid. I still worry about now. You know, like I'm still not much improved in all those years. You know, like I figured, or I still feel like a kid. I'll put it that way. Like I
Your
don't
mind,
feel like a.
but your body doesn't, or vice versa.
Yeah, my body's okay.
Yeah,
It's in a lot of. My body's okay. It's cancer ridden.
yeah.
But other than that,
Great.
It's something to the mindset. I don't think I'm old, but I know I am.
Yeah,
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 like I know I'm old. I think I should feel or look older.
yeah. No, you still
look
look
great.
Like 30. Yeah, you look good, Pete. So.
Yeah, like I mean, I even like I'm not even doing anything to deserve it
You
anymore.
don't look like a day we're 49.
Yeah, I don't care if my face is old. Like I'm like actually I'm like not fat. I've been fat, and it's nice not being fat.
I remember my dad being 50 and like that, you know, over the years of like, he was always, you know, when he got married, he was very tall and skinny, and then just eating habits alone, you know, just,
Yeah.
you know, pushing a pencil all the time, and then eating not even having breakfast, not having lunch,
Yeah.
Carb.
like a chimney, big supper. He would all be proud. This is my breakfast, lunch, and supper all in one. And he'd have this
Big
big
pile.
coffee meal,
Yeah.
just wolf her down and eating steak. And I would cut my fat off, and he'll give me that fat. I'll eat it. You know, he just loved the fat. you know.
Yeah.
And then,
My dad too.
you know, sitting watching Archie Bunker in the evening, and, you know, bag of chips or a chocolate or something, snacking, doing that. And it's like, oh my God. Like,
Baby
he's-
boomers were like toddlers, you know.
Yeah.
Like they were like left to their own devices. They would just microwave everything and like eat anything blindly. It was different. You trusted that people would take care of you,
Right.
And no one
You
ever
trusted
did.
the food that you're getting, I guess, was
Was going to be
not gonna
good.
kill you really, or
Yeah.
make you, you know, diabetic or severely obese.
Yeah, but you didn't think that.
You didn't think that, no.
No.
But
Yeah, I heard there was a news story that I read today, and it said that a lot of the full service restaurants are doing really poorly because labor costs and real estate costs are going up. And they said pizza places in particular, like their labor costs are like almost 32%, which normally labor costs are around 20%. Just for that's always been kind of like a rule of thumb. You try to keep labor costs around 25%, you know, and then but like to be over 30, it's like your margins are being eaten up. They don't have anything left as profit anymore. So they said this on the news as like a good news story. There's this new company coming out. I don't even care what it's called, but they've used this new technology where they'll cook a pizza in 3 minutes, an artisanal pizza in 3 minutes, but it'll only cost you like or the only real estate you need to buy is like the size of 2 vending machines, and you need 0 employees, just like fucking robots that make this pizza and spits it out in 3 minutes or whatever. And they said it's like a good news thing, and it's like, I can't believe that they tell this story that some companies figured a way to take the humanity out of the most human process that we have eating, food. Like, hey, the thing everyone needs to do, and it's also like how you build community and, like come together and mourn losses and or even just like rest from your work day or catch up with your family. Let's just make it just as fucking robotic and distant from humanity as we can.
Gonna be George Jetson saying, "Man, a pill."
Yeah.
Well, do you think, like, seriously, that shit, everything's getting automated, everything's gonna be robotic, but do you think there'll be a time where, like, everyone's gonna be treated as an equal, and you're gonna get X amount of dollars, you get a roof over your head, hydro energy is not an issue anymore, it's all taken care of?
I think in our lifetime we're gonna have universal income for sure, and because there just won't be jobs, and it won't be. It'll just be the end of the industrial era. Like we don't know. No one alive has ever lived through any other kind of life other than this industrial era, and everyone's just kind of like wired to say, like, for you to contribute to society, you have to work and you have to do something. You have to contribute somehow, you have to make money. And if you don't do that, you're not seen as contributing to society, but that's because that's how the economy is built. But if the economy is all of a sudden kind of built by these big corporations who are just building shit with robots and delivering product, and our role is just to consume, and there's no jobs for us to do, then all we got to do is like get our money from these corporations somehow to fill our mouth to keep us alive to buy their shit.
Yeah, but then maybe, just maybe, whatever you're passionate about, you can just do.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, and
right,
then
exactly. That'll free up more time to do what you really love to do.
Yeah, you don't have to put that work day in there. You just whatever. If you like planting flowers, that's your gig.
Yeah. And like that's kind of like OnlyFans now too. Like people are. It's kind of already doing it. People don't want to join the workforce, so they just jerk off online or whatever. That's how they. That's how kids can now not have to join the rat race, right?
Yeah.
You can just shove a cucumber in your puss.
What the fuck does that got to do with fucking living? Well, that is part of living.
Yeah, it's instead of universal income, right? You're like, I don't like you don't have to go and have a job like before.
That's their service.
You can just do your art. You can make music, or you can shove a English cucumber in your vagina and or asshole. Oh yeah. Anyways, that's it.
That's it.
There's no smooth ending in the world. But did you ever find another hypothetical?
No.
Yeah. Well, we kind of asked a couple hockey ones in there. Ryan, do you have anything coming up? Anything that's
pretty boring.
Well, thank you very much for helping.
Wait a second. We do have some chill pops coming out onto the OCS store being delivered on June 13th.
Oh, chill pops.
Yeah.
Pops. Yeah.
So look for those at the OCS store, I guess.
OCS store.
Yeah.
You can find chill pops out there. They're CBD,
THC and D8.
And they're like Mr. Freezies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Look for those. Mr. Freezies. They're perfect for the summertime.
It's a company we did a joint venture with, and that's what they ended up making. That's what got accepted. Not gel caps. Not trying to get gel caps out there, but
They don't want gel caps, but they want Mr. Freezies.
We had a list of 6 things, and gel pops was their top priority. Interesting how the OCS works, but anyways.
What does that stand for, OCS?
Ontario Cannabis Store.
Oh, and that's just like the government store?
Mm-hmm. It's like the LCBO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't even know.
And then from there, the retailers can put an order in and put it in their stores if they want. So,
That's awesome.
Oh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Hopefully we don't have to go there and pick them back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could happen.
I'm glad that got done for you. Anyways, Ryan, thanks always for coming in. I'll show you that hot tub video right after we get this theme song played. And Kevin, thanks as always. For you people out there that are listening, if you'd like to support the show, you know how to do it. Listen to those ads earlier on, and they'll tell you how to. And give us some feedback. And until next week, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday. Hit it.
Well, I'm gonna come in, go out and have this. Have a cocktail. And